really wish I had a pirate hat for this review. But you can't have everything. Yo ho ho, me hearties! Welcome to this review of The Curse of the Black Spot, the second story, third episode of Series 6. So, coming off of the implanting of the mystery around the doctor dying. Can we stop it? Can it be prevented? Now we have a version of the doctor that doesn't know he's going to die. Can Amy get away with not telling him? Who's this woman with the eye patch who we're seeing? All this stuff going on, and let's go off and have a pirate adventure for a little bit. Now, here's the thing. I have a tendency to point out and complain when an episode is largely filler. However, there are times when the kinds of filler that it is just appeal to me. And that's pretty much the case here. I'm a sucker for pirates. I've always been a sucker for pirates. And I have a lot of fun with this episode, even though I don't think there's very much substantive to it. I just enjoy it. And I enjoy it despite the fact that it does another thing that I really generally don't care for and I tend to rip into the show over, which is, oh, this being, this supernatural folktale being, thing of legend, the siren. Oh, wait, it's aliens. Because of course it is, because it's always aliens. But for some reason it doesn't bother me in this one nearly as much as it does in most other cases. And I think, as odd and somewhat tenuous as the explanation is, there is a reason for why this artificial intelligence behaves in this way. So, like, if you go back to something like, say, Tooth and Claw, they just wanted a werewolf, and there's really no reason for the monster to be a werewolf as opposed to literally anything else. Same with vampires in Venice, for that matter. There's really no reason for it to be vampires as opposed to nearly anything else that it could have been. Here, there is an act, once we get the explanation of what the siren is, which is a medical program, there is a reason that it looks human despite being alien, because it's currently trying to resuscitate humans, so it's trying to appear as calming to them as possible. There's a reason it's all hypnotic about them, because its singing is basically anesthetizing people. And in addition to that, it makes sense that it's going after people with wounds. It's going, oh, you're in trouble, I'll help you. And I can look at the way it behaves and see how it links up with the legend, but also makes sense. It's not just a complete and utter coincidence. It is that too, but all these things exist for a reason outside of the coincidence. There is a justification for them being there, and sometimes that's all I need. And I dig that here. So, between the fact that there's pirates, and I don't get bothered by the folklore creature turning out to be aliens nearly as much as I do normally, and there's some really funny lines from Smith, especially in this. We got Hugh Bonneville as a pirate, which I'm also a sucker for, because, I mean, I think it was after this, but like, he was also the pirate leader in Gallivant, so like, him as a pirate I really like. I like that Henry Avery is an actual historical pirate, so they went with an actual historical pirate, but not like one of the names that everybody knows, like friggin' Blackbeard or Captain Kidd or what have you. Like, no, I didn't know a ton about this guy, but I've looked into him since this episode aired. He was nifty. Cool dude, nice call. I dig it. Again, I normally don't like the historical figure being brought into the story, but I like it here because it's somebody who I didn't feel like I already knew everything about. And that was kind of neat and kind of cool. But it's just a case of the things lining up and just happening to press sort of my happy places in a few ways and smoothing over, that sounded dirty when I said that, and smoothing over and things that might normally bother me. It just happens to line up well for me. Does that make this a stellar and excellent episode? Well, no. But it does make it on the much more enjoyable end of filler, which is obviously what it is at the end of the day. It is unfortunately also sort of the kickoff of the repeated killing of Rory. It's not the first time he dies, but when we first see him die in Amy's Choice, that is a case where we already knew going in we were dealing with a multiple reality situation, and it was distinctly possible that the Rory we just saw die was not the real Rory. We knew that just from the initial setup, so I don't even really count that one. Then he did die proper in Cold Blood, the second half of the Silurian two-parter from the previous series. And there was weight to that. Karen Gillan especially sold that really, really well. But then this kicks off the start of let's kill Rory over and over and over and over again. Now you want to be technical, he had a death fake out last episode too, but so did Amy and so did River. So like that was part of a trifecta. Here, on his own, death fake out twice! 2 times! Because first he gets taken by the siren, and then he nearly drown. Well, he does drown effectively, and then Amy has to resuscitate him. And knowing how much it became a oh my god they killed Rory kind of thing, I'm annoyed seeing that, you know, kicking off. Aside from Bonneville, the supporting actors are okay. They're not great, which is unfortunate because it's a collective and established dynamic, and I usually like that when it can work very well. It really worked well in things like The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit and The Waters of Mars, where we have this group with an established rapport that the Doctor comes in on, but the other actors don't. I mean, part of it is the characters don't get a ton to do, but there just isn't, things aren't quite clicking with the other guest actors, which is kind of a shame, because normally I think ensemble cast is one of the inherent strengths of a pirate story. You get a lot of really interesting characters and get to see how they bounce off each other, but not really a play here, so there's that. Aside from that, yeah, I just enjoy this one. I really do just kind of like this. Oh, there's a moment I really love towards the beginning when Amy gets basically sent below decks because they think she's docile and they can just use her for labor. And she finds a sword. Cool. But she also sees a jacket and a hat. And I love, like, again, this is very Amy. I love that she takes and it's not like a ton of time, but she takes the extra 30 seconds to wear the coat and the hat and really get into the swing of things in terms of having fun on a pirate ship and rescuing the Doctor and Rory. I love that she does that. It just makes me very happy. I feel like revisiting these has kind of reignited my love for Amy. And not like I ever forgot that I liked Amy or anything like that, but I think it had kind of faded just how much I really do enjoy Amy. I enjoy her a lot, especially with the overall dynamic of this group. But like I said, it is filler. I know it's not much more than that. Oh, the other thing worth highlighting for me is the music, because part of what I really like about pirate stories and pirate movies is pirate-inspired music. I like the soundtrack to the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Curse of the Black Pearl. One of my all-time favorite soundtracks. I love that thing. And this reminded me of that. I think this has got really good music on top of everything else. So, yes, it's filler, but it's pirate filler, which automatically makes it better filler than your average everyday filler. And I've now said filler so many times, I should have made a drinking game out of it. You would all be so wasted right now, and then you'd probably be all the more likely to listen to me when I say if you have thoughts, you should drop something down in the comments and we'll talk about it, and hit the like and the subscribe and share this around and support me on Patreon. Maybe I'll try that next time. Oh well, we'll see. I probably won't even remember. Because, yeah. That's my brain. In any case, folks, thanks so much for stopping in. All that stuff is down below that I mentioned. Click on things. It'll do stuff. Or don't. You don't have to. I don't have the hat, so I'm not a captain. I can't order you around. Because you're the council and I'm just running the meetings. So until next time, this council is adjourned.